Assassin's Creed Shadows marks Ubisoft's 14th main entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise, with many major changes in the series since the original release of Assassin's Creed in 2007. Shadows is no different, and while many aspects have been enhanced, the overall feel of the game still delivers a familiar feeling for players, be it for the better or worse. Set in 1500 Japan, Assassin's Creed Shadows has finally steered its setting into the heavily anticipated feudal Japan, giving players a unique glimpse into the life and rich culture of Japan in the era.
Welcome! Surely I have something to strike your interest.
Filled with plenty of iconic landmarks and characters such as the notorious Oda Nobunaga, Shadows constantly provides an authentic experience of this time period. With many events and characters based on real-world history, Shadows, like with most Assassin's Creed games, does take some creative liberties to bend history in order to create a narrative that feels both authentic and constantly exciting. But unlike in many of the recent Assassin's Creed games, I found the story to be a lot more grounded and believable this time around, especially with the supernatural elements removed in Shadows. Similar to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Shadows sets you in a dual character dynamic where you assume the roles of both Yasuke and Niaue. With Yasuke being a formidable samurai warrior and a force to be reckoned with in combat, albeit with very limited stealth and parkour capabilities, and while Niaue offers a contrasting playstyle as a shinobi, she excels in stealth and using parkour to stay out of direct line of sight. These characters are also further defined by constantly giving you options of which to play as they both play completely differently. That being said, I did find myself more often than not gravitating towards Niaue, as Yasuke's very limited parkour did make general map traversal a lot more restrictive. And while Yasuke is considerably more powerful in combat, Niaue is still a very capable fighter and made her the more compelling choice to play as in most cases. The game does provide a fair amount of character-specific quests and objectives to help give you reasons to switch between the two, but for the most part, Niaue felt like the more obvious choice in most circumstances. Additionally, characters also come with their own unique set of branching paths in the skill tree, allowing you to further curate your characters to your preferred style. With Niaue's skill tree focusing on her 3 different weapons as well as tools and stealth capabilities, these skill trees allow you to further enhance capabilities and earn new moves, which not only make you deadly in combat, but also enhance your stealth should you wish. By contrast, Yasuke's skill tree focuses on his 5 weapon types, making him increasingly deadlier and more ferocious in battle. The skill trees in Shadows provide a simple yet intuitive path for you to progress and specialize your characters in whichever way you wish, and with a free respec option for each skill tree, you can at any point experiment and try out new perk combinations whenever you want, so you never have to worry about investing in the wrong tree or perks if you don't know what you are doing. I also found these advancements in skills offered a pleasantly satisfying progression system, allowing you to gradually unlock more options to enhance your stealth and combat capabilities. For example, one perk offers Niaue the ability to stab enemies through a shoji while remaining undetected, or use bamboo sticks to breathe underwater. Additionally, these skills are unlocked through various knowledge tiers, which players can obtain by participating in various side activities such as visiting shrines or doing trial runs, giving players a reason to explore the beautiful locations within Japan. Speaking of the setting, the world crafted in Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of the most jaw-dropping settings I've ever seen crafted in a video game. As the first current-gen only Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft are able to optimize and enhance the graphic fidelity delivered in Shadows far more than in previous installments, with many features like ray tracing, realistic physics, and even dynamic world-altering features like changing seasons. Shadows has really pushed the envelope of the franchise. There's so much I could talk about and praise that I could dedicate an entire video just to the details of things that I love about the world of Shadows, but to sum up, the map is huge and with many historical real-world locations and monuments that you can still see and visit to this day. Shadows also has a full season system in place where the game will gradually change between summer, autumn, winter, and spring, and each season offering a very different look and feel. While in spring, the distinctive cherry blossoms flood the environments with tranquil shades of pink, while in autumn, everything shifts to wonderful shades of bright orange and red, with the wind carrying the falling leaves all along the screen. Then come winter, the map becomes shrouded in snow, with many small ponds and lakes becoming frozen, making certain stealth options no longer possible. These changes in season is one of my favorite features of Assassin's Creed Shadows and really helps bring the world of Japan to life and create a more lifelike experience. The map itself is massive, as is with many Assassin's Creed games. However, due to the picturesque and varied locations, and with plenty of side objectives to engage in that actually feel both rewarding to do as well as necessary, I never found myself feeling like the world was empty or just asking me to do things just for the sake of doing things.
Insanity! Which is your favorite? The delicious suika or the mediocre makuauri?
As was the case with many previous Assassin's Creed games. And while some of these side objectives and activities can at times feel repetitive, I found that for the most part they were a nice distraction to help change the pace of the game and unwind after some of the tense story missions.
Better you take the lead here.
Another aspect I really appreciate in Assassin's Creed Shadows is how quests and branching storylines are kept relevant by maintaining similar level and locations between the various sub-stories. This ensures you don't start a quest line at level 10 only to do the next part of it again at level 23, by which time you would have forgotten what it is even about. This helps make quests feel a lot more linear within their sub-quest lines, where various quests feel like self-contained stories relating to and intertwining with the overall main plot of the game. Most quests in Assassin's Creed Shadows offer adequate variety, and you do come across some intriguing characters along the way.
Did you know him?
Nope. But I knew his wife.
However, I do still find that the overall quest design in Assassin's Creed Shadows still follows similar patterns and often devolve into you either taking out a target or stealing something from a well-guarded fort or location. While the main story did offer enough intrigue and suspense that it kept me wanting more, I did find that some of the side quests could at times feel like they didn't offer much that I haven't already seen before. Loot in Assassin's Creed Shadows is abundant, with many castles and forts filled to the brim with loot crates. However, much like in recent Assassin's Creeds, loot can often feel overabundant and generic, with the game constantly throwing a new epic or legendary weapon at you, only to soon be forgotten about in the favor of newer, higher level one you might find in an hour or two of playing. And while this is not completely a bad thing, it can leave a lot to be desired for players looking for more unique and exciting weapons and armor to uncover throughout their adventures. I took roughly 60 hours to complete Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the main story probably took around 40 hours of that time, with enough content that could easily last 100 plus hours if you want to complete every side quest and optional objectives. That being said, I didn't find Assassin's Creed Shadows to be overly bloated like some of the predecessors, and despite taking me 60 hours to complete, it never felt like Shadows overstayed its welcome. I think a big reason for that is, unlike many previous entries, Shadows does a good job at pacing and splitting up the main objectives into bite-sized chunks, providing players with flashback sequences to flesh out backstories and provide meaningful reasons to take a break from the main story. Speaking of meaningful distraction, Shadows also returns with base building, giving you control of your own hideout, where you and your allies can gather, hang out, and sometimes unwind as you discuss your adventures together.
Are we winning this game or losing? I cannot tell.
If the bottle's being emptied, we are winning.
Shadows also does a great job at making hideouts more meaningful by offering many valuable benefits for you and your allies when upgrading your base. For example, upgrade your dojo and you'll be able to make use of multiple allies in battle, or upgrade your blacksmith and you can upgrade your gear to higher levels. Additionally, you can find base customization options and items to decorate your base scattered throughout the world. So if base building and customization is a thing, Assassin's Creed Shadows provides a huge amount of depth due to the simplicity as well as vast amounts of options. Shadows also keeps giving you reasons to continuously return to your hideout and check in on your allies. Without spoiling too much of the story, Assassin's Creed Shadows follows a familiar theme of revenge as the plot-driving narrative, and although cliché at times, Shadows does an excellent job at slowly unraveling the backstory of both Nyawe and Yasuke. And while I didn't find myself feeling deeply emotionally connected to most of the side characters in Shadows, I did still find the story of both Yasuke and Nyawe compelling and interesting to see their contrasting perspectives and personalities, and how both of their stories are intertwined with not only each other, but the overall story itself.
Tell me why.
I swore an oath to protect you at all costs. As your father, it was my duty.
One aspect I do wish was emphasized more was a story between assassins and Templars, and there are moments where Shadows does delve deep into the secret war between the assassins and Templars. The majority of the game serves as a self-standing story, absent of Templars and assassins. And while this does make it more accessible for newer players to the franchise, some of my favorite parts of Assassin's Creed Shadows are towards the epilogue of the game, where the majority of the Templar and assassin story is revealed. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a remarkable game, and Ubisoft have done an excellent job at bringing feudal Japan to life through an exquisitely crafted open world for you to explore. With so much to offer and improved pacing from previous entries in the franchise, Shadows creates a landmark achievement in the franchise and feels like a much needed course correct for the overall Assassin's Creed franchise. While not everything is perfect, Shadows has done what no other Assassin's Creed has been able to do in the last 10 years, and that is to reignite my love for the series. And while perhaps not as compelling storytelling as seen in the likes of Assassin's Creed 2, Shadows definitely has its moments of narrative greatness, and I'm eagerly awaiting more in the future of the franchise and hope Ubisoft continues in this path for future installments.